Okay, I'm gonna admit this right here, right now. I was wrong about S-Death, right? In part 1, I was very wrong about S-Death because after using her, after getting her twice, somehow, honestly, I don't know how I got her twice, but yeah, she is very useful. And the thing is with her, you know what? I'll explain it once I get there. But this is part 2. I meant to do this a couple days ago. Basically, in part 1, I explained some of the unit stats, compare them, and in part 2, I'm gonna explain the rest, and then compare them, and then put them together and find out the rankings. And honestly, I forgot because I was grinding for the stars, capsules, S-Death, and a bunch of other things. And I'm sorry if I have a list right now. That's because I bit my mouth like 20 million times while eating. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna eat later. Happy New Year's Eve. But let's get straight into this one. So side notes, unit stats are RNG based. All stats that I show are rounded up. This is opinionated, and this does not include relics or curses or traits. I forgot to add that, but yeah. Damn, this list is gonna get on my fucking nerves. Yeah, I do believe there's only 2 other units that I didn't showcase, which is Toshiro and Deal Over Heaven. So if I missed out any other units, tell me in the comments below, but I'm just gonna showcase those. So first of all, I'm gonna put Deal Over Heaven over Toshiro because of course he's just overpowered. He's a secret. He's hard as hell to get, like basically impossible, but if you do get him, he's broken as hell. So basically his damage is around 235,000 to 240. I've seen that kind of range of damage. DPS around 36.1k. You'll see why later. That's really low. SP is around 6.5 seconds. RNG a range of 35. AoE of a big circle. He does multi-hit. He has the affinity of magic and light, the attack type of ground, but he can hit airs, which is really nice, and he has the ability of a 20-second global time stop, but you can only place one of him down. So that's what makes him kind of good, kind of bad, but also really overpowered, because a 20-second global time stop, that's like what, almost 3 Gojo time stops? That's so overpowered. But even if you could place him down, that's basically already unique. His damage is already in the 200,000. If you could get a unique trait on this guy, it'd be even more broken. Either way, his SP is pretty low, his damage is insanely high, he has a giant circle AoE, he can hit airs, he has the ability of a 20-second global time stop. Like, what else do you want from this guy? And of course, the only bad side to it is of course trying to get him through capsules. It's very, very rare, like physically impossible. I have not gotten him after a bunch of capsules already, and those who have gotten him, your luck is gone for the rest of the year. Good luck. I honestly have nothing else to explain besides that, you know? It's just Deal Over Heaven being Deal Over Heaven. And then behind it, of course, I have Toshiro with the damage of around 40,000, DPS of around 28,000, SP of around 5.6 seconds, range of around 50. His AoE is decently big. He does not multi-hit. He has a physical and ice affinity. His attack type is hybrid. His ability is 50% crit chance, and he has a 4 placement limit. Now, when I'm gonna rank all these units together, Toshio is honestly gonna rank pretty high because not only is he hybrid, but he comes with physical and ice, which is good for fire units or fire enemies that are weakened to ice, and he also has a 50% crit chance ability, so he can hit airs and ground and get 80,000 damage with crit, and you can place 4 of them down. So he's gonna be a great placement for early on to get rid of both airs and grounds. Plus, you get a decently cool vanity or costume, you could say, but I honestly don't like it since the wings are too stiff in my opinion. But the only downside to this unit is of course the AoE. The AoE is not really that big. It's fairly small, but it's still very good. It's still very good. And I have nothing else to explain besides he's just an overall great hybrid damage dealer. Now, let's go ahead and rank these units from best to worst, including the last part 1 video. So for number 1, of course, I'm gonna put Deal Over Heaven. Of course, he has that 20-second time stop. He has that 200,000 plus damage output. He has an SP of around 6.5 seconds, which is very, very low. And of course, even though you can only place 1, it still makes up for it because he's basically like a unique unit. And for number 2, this is where I got it wrong. I'm gonna put S-Death. Now, for part 1, if you guys watched that, I said S-Death was gonna be in 3rd place behind Todoroki and Aokiji, and I was very wrong about that. When I used her in-game, the reason why she was so good is because of support units. So if you have support unit like Kisuke, Maiden Heaven, Sakura, anything that buffs S-Death in terms of SPA and damage and range, she is actually very overpowered, especially with Maiden Heaven. If you reduce her SPA by half, which is around 20 to 19 seconds, reduce that by half. That's 8 seconds, 10 seconds time stop with a full AoE doing around 230,000 damage, and you can place 3 of her down. So that's really overpowered. Plus, she is magic plus ice. You could take care of those fire units that run past, and she does multi-hit. So overall, I was very wrong about her. If you have support units that could help her out, even if you don't, she's still very good. But the 20-second SPA might catch up to you still though. The stun, the full AoE, the damage, placements, she's just amazingly good. Next up, I have your boy Aokiji. So Aokiji is kind of like a knockoff S-Death in terms of stunning, full AoE, and damage. Though you can place 4 of him, his damage is around 100,000, so 100,000 less than S-Death. He does have a passive a freeze, he does multi-hit. His affinity is also similar to Esdeath, magic and ice. So he's just a free Esdeath. If you don't get her in the secret portal raid type deal for this update, then go for Aokiji. It's the last present for the battle pass, so why not go for him? You get a cool vanity, you get that bike, plus he's just an overall great support with good damage. Next up, I have Toshiro. So Toshiro, of course, I already explained it. He has very long range, up to 50. You can place 4 of them down. He's a hybrid, so he can hit air and ground. He's very easy to place, and he has a 50% crit chance that could take it all the way up to 80,000 damage. So pair that up with maybe Sakura or a trait like Divine. It's gonna be so broken. Very broken for maps like the Magic Town or anything that includes fire, because this update mostly includes ice units, and I'm not surprised about it. It was mostly a Christmas update. So Toshiro is definitely up there as a very good air hitting hybrid. And since there's not many that came out from the last update and in this update as well, he's ranked pretty high up. But all you need for most of these units that you get from the capsules is luck. So good luck on trying to get them. For the 5th spot, I have Todoroki. Alright, I was wrong about this guy. He's not really that broken because I forgot he didn't actually stun. He kind of just slowed. If I'm getting this wrong, he slowed, right? If he actually stuns, but you need to upgrade him a little bit more, then that would bring him down. Most definitely bring him down. But if he just slows all the way through, then he's honestly not that crazier than a Mochi or an Aokiji or that white girl that slows them. I forgot her name, but she's used a lot for portal runs. But still though, Todoroki does have that burn and slow, which is very good for magic maps that need ice weakness and fire weakness. Plus, in the end, he does have a giant circle AoE with damage around 58,000. So still a very good damage dealing unit and good in terms of support, but not really that overpowered like I was explaining him in the last video. Next up, I have Gyacho. You know, he's just him. Ice skating, not really that crazy. He does have a big circle AoE. You can place 4 of them down. He freezes, but he only freezes and stuns near the end of his actual upgrading. So it's not really that viable in terms of supporting. You can still use him. His damage is around 65,000 with the SP of 6, which is still very good. But honestly, there are better units to support that could surpass him. Still though, he has a very cool vanity, so I'll take him. And he's free on the battle pass. So if you still need a support that stuns, then I guess you could use him. And then finally, I have Haku. You know, I love Haku. I love him. Very cute, but he's not really that overpowered in this update, is he? I don't really know if he has the ability to stun. I haven't really seen it. I know he does multi-hit. He has a damage around 53,000, SPF around 6.5 seconds, big circle AoE, physical, and ice affinity, but nothing that crazy. If I am getting this wrong and he does have an ability and he can hit airs, then tell me. He's definitely above Gyacho if that's the case. But if that's not the case, then he's just sucks. Like I wouldn't want to get him. His vanity's cool. He's a bunch of mirrors floating around you, but besides that, he's just sucks. But yeah, that's my ranking. Number 1 Dio, number 2 Esdeath, number 3 Aokiji, number 4 Toshiro, number 5 Todoroki, number 6 Gyacho, and number 7 Haku. Like I said, this is opinionated, so if you have your own rankings, definitely leave it in the comments below. If I missed anything, also point that out. And yeah, happy New Year's Eve, like I said before, and I'll see you guys in the next one.